Hey, Tyron here, founder of Room OS. If you've ever wondered what it actually looked like to never miss another call, never let a quote go cold, and finally know what's happening in your business week to week, this is that walkthrough. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what I build, what it's costing you right now not to have it, and what it looks like to fix it. No fluff, just the real thing. Quick bit about me so you know who's talking. I work in the trade business myself, also in mining, before teaching myself web design, content marketing, and then AI over the last couple of years. I'm not a call center, I'm not a software reseller selling you someone else's platform. I build custom AI employees, Rendo, Solara, and Vesa, and you'll meet all three shortly, one business at a time, starting with whichever one stops the bleeding the fastest. I'll also be up front, Crew Room OS is young, and I'm only taking on a handful of founding clients right now, just while I build out real case studies. It's not a sales tactic, it's just literally where things are at the moment. And it's actually why the offer at the end of this is worth paying attention to. So here's what we're covering. First, the problem that most businesses don't realize that they actually have. Second is what the problem is costing you in real dollars, not vague. And third, how Crew Room OS actually fixes it. The crew, not just a piece of software. And fourth, what happens next if this looks like a fit for you? So let's start with the problem and the number, because everything else in this video builds off of this. The average Australian trade or service business loses around 52,000 a year to missed calls alone. And that's not bad workmanship, it's not bad pricing, it's just a phone that didn't get answered. And that's the starting point. So everything from here is about closing that gap. That 52,000 breaks down into three specific gaps, and I want to walk through all three because usually a business only recognizes one of them in themselves, and it's almost always the other two doing the real damage. And first is your after hours call, the ones that go in unanswered. That is close to 100% of inquiries that come in the outside business hours to get no response at all. The phone just rings out. The second is leads followed up too slowly. The average response time is 42 minutes. Only 12% of businesses respond within 5. And speed matters more than anything else in this business, and in whether that lead turns into a job. And this is the quiet one, no visibility. Most owners genuinely can't tell you how many calls were missed last week or which quotes are still sitting open. You can't fix what you can't see. So a genuine question, does any of that sound like your business right now? Now, I want you to hold on to your answer because everything from here is built around fixing exactly that. So here's the framework that I use to look at every business that I work with. I call it the call to cash journey, and it is 5 steps. A call comes in, it gets captured, it gets qualified and followed up on. It gets booked, and eventually it gets reviewed. Here's what I've noticed working across different businesses. Almost everyone is strong at the two ends of this. You're good at doing the actual job and you're good at being liked once it's done. That's why the reviews are usually decent. The gap shows up, however, in the middle 3 steps, capturing the call properly, qualifying it, and following it up on schedule. That middle section is where Crew Room lives. Now, on an actual call with a business, this slide here gets filled in live with their real numbers, not an industry guess. The actual call volume, the actual response time pulled from a free scorecard that I run before we ever talk pricing. But to give you a feel for what that looked like, for a business missing in around 38 calls a month, averaging a 44-minute response time, and only following up on about a third of the quotes they send out, that lands at roughly 4,300 a month in estimated impact. Every business's number is different, but there's almost always a real number, and it's almost always bigger than the owner expects. So here's what actually closes that gap. I call them your crew because that's really what they are. 3 specific roles and not one generic tool. So Rendo is your AI receptionist, answers every call day and night and books straight into your calendar. Solara is your lead qualifier and follow-up, chases every lead and every quote on the schedule that actually converts. Not the 2 or 3 attempts most owners manage before giving up. And Vesa handles reporting and CRM, keeps a clear, honest record of what actually happened, so you're never guessing what your business did last week. Now, you don't need all 3 on day one. Most businesses start with whichever one is bleeding the most, which makes sense. Day zero is what I call the go live acceleration session. I build a working first draft before we even sit down together. So day one is a real result, not a blank form. Days 1 through to 3, that session happens and you are live, answering real calls. Then day 7 and day 30, we just check in weekly and tune anything that needs a fit. You're not waiting months for this. You're live literally within days. Now, I want to be straight with you here rather than dress this up. Crew Room OS is early, and I'm not going to show you a wall of client logos because I'd rather tell you the truth than fake it. What I can tell you is that everything I've just walked you through, the 52,000 figure, the response time data, all of it, it's backed by real cited research into how Australian small businesses actually handle calls and follow-up. And it's exactly why I'm only taking on a handful of founding clients right now. Locked in rate for the life of the contract. First access to every new AI employee that I build after this as well, at no extra cost. This isn't a discount tactic, it's an early stage reality, and it won't be on the table forever. Here's how the actual investment breaks down. So your front desk, that gets you rendo alone, answering calls, booking jobs, from 1,500 to 3,000 to set up, then 250 to 350 a month. Call crew is rendo and Solara, and it's what most businesses land on since it covers both the call and the follow-up gap. 3 to 6,000 set up, 450 to 600 a month. Full crew adds all of those on top for complete visibility. 5 to 10,000 set up, 700 to 1,200 plus a month. On an actual call, I'll tell you exactly which one fits based on your real numbers and quote you a specific figure, not a range. And look, if you're not ready for the full build yet, there's a lower commitment option. A 14-day live pilot of Robo alone from $297 to $497. So you can see the demo working on your own calls before deciding to implement anything bigger. So if any of this looks like a fit for your business, the next step is simple. Book your go live acceleration session and we'll have you answering every call within days, not months. Thanks for watching this through. That already puts you ahead of most business owners who will agree with everything that I just and do nothing about it. So book your session below and I'll talk soon.